Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here, and here's our latest housing market update. And this is actually a bombshell report I want to share with you guys today. Compliments from Black Knight that was just announced a few days ago at the time of this video. And in this report here, they state that home prices are down for the first time in 32 months, which is pretty eye-opening here. They also state the cities that are experiencing the highest rates of home prices decreasing, and number one would actually be in San Jose, California. So I'm going to provide some additional insights regarding what we're seeing right now in San Jose, California as well towards the end of this video. So according to Black Knight here, the latest data from their Black Knight Home Price Index shows a clear sign of an inflection point, and for the first time in 32 months, home prices saw a month-over-month dip in July. Now here's something extremely important that I definitely want to bring to your attention, because they're talking about home price gains on a year-over-year basis and also on a month-over-month basis, and how it's so crucial to look at short-term trends over the long run to give a clear indication of our housing market right now. I talk about this all the time on the channel here. Anyways, Black Knight says here that annual home price growth, this is July 2021 to July 2022, was 14.3%. So if we stop there, that sounds like a lot, right? Historical averages are in the range of 3 to 6% in annual home price growth. So the growth rate right now at 14.3%, or I should say July 2021 to July 2022, the current yearly growth rate at 14.3% is 3 times the long-term average. But that doesn't really tell us the full story here, and Black Knight actually touches on this. This growth rate of 14.3% on a year-over-year basis, most of that appreciation in home prices actually occurred in the last half or the last months of 2021 and earlier in 2022. It says here, such strong annual growth rates can hide underlying weaknesses. Month-over-month data give us a much clearer picture of just how much and how quickly the housing market has shifted. So let me give you guys a quick example here. I always talk about this on the channel when I go over the National Association of Realtors monthly report regarding existing home sales. Because here's what they generally talk about for home prices in the US here. It says the median home price, or the median existing home price for all housing types in July was $403,800, up 10.8% from July 2021. As prices increase in all regions. This marks 125 consecutive months of year-over-year increases, the longest running streak on record. What they should add in this paragraph right here is that home prices actually decreased $10,000 from June of this year to July of this year. In other words, a decrease of 2.4% in one single month. But in this paragraph here, they only talk about year-over-year increases in home prices. And check this out, because according to Black Knight here, the median home price fell by 0.77% in July, the largest single month drop since January of 2011. And by the way, this is from their index and not based on the national median home price or the median sold price according to the National Association of Realtors. That's why the numbers here are a little bit different. Anyways, their index here dropping by 0.77% in July, against the largest single month drop since January 2011. Additionally, on a seasonally adjusted basis here, July's dip ranked among the 10 largest monthly declines on record, dating back more than 30 years. So in regards to their point here that we should be looking at month-over-month changes in the long run versus looking at year-over-year changes, have a look at this, because this is pretty eye-opening here. It says at the start of 2022, home price growth was running at 28 times the 30-year seasonal average. In other words, home prices at that time, which is basically January 2022, were running at 28 times the long-term averages for home prices. But it says here this is at the tail end of this unprecedented run of home price appreciation that we've been seeing here. Then interest rates began to tick up, as you guys all know, and the home price growth rate tapered to just over 5 times the average in February. So in January, it was at 28 times the average, and in February, it was 5 times the average. Then we hit May. In May, growth rate actually contracted to twice the normal rate. And then in June, the growth rate was actually 70% below the long-term average. So in 6 short months, we went from 28 times the average down to 70% below the long-term average. And now home prices as of July have recorded their first monthly decline in nearly 3 years, which is pretty unusual because in July, as a note right here, home prices tend to increase by 0.4%, not decrease by 0.77%. They also discussed that we're moving more towards a slow part of our housing market. Typically during July through the winter months, our housing market tends to slow down. And they call that more neutral months here. And it says here during the Great Recession, home prices actually increased very slightly from March to May during that time. But all price declines from the Great Recession actually occurred from July through February. Here's another eye-opening stat as well, because they basically talk about what's needed in order to have a more affordable housing market here. It says here housing affordability is still near its worst levels in more than 35 years. And this, of course, is going to put downward pressure on home prices in the months to come. So here's what's required in order to move to a long-term average for housing affordability right now. And this would require a combination of either a 30% rise in incomes in order to move to a long-term average for housing affordability. And of course, that's not going to happen, right? We're not going to see a 30% rise in incomes anytime soon. So that's number one. Let's have a look at number two here. This would require a 2 percentage point decrease in mortgage rates. So in other words, rates to decrease from 6% down to 4%, which of course is not going to happen anytime soon either. Or number three, home prices pulling back another 20% to bring affordability back in line with long-term averages. And Black Knight goes on to say the following here. More than 85% of major markets in the US right now have seen prices come down from their peaks through July. And by the way, a third of them dropped by more than 1%, and more than 1 in 10 fell by 4% or more. And San Jose, California experienced the biggest pullback in home prices. Average home prices came down 10% in recent months. That was followed by Seattle, down 7.7%, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, and then Denver, Colorado. And check this out, because this is pretty insane. There have been several examples over the past 30 years where markets have seen double-digit price drops. None, however, come close to what San Jose has experienced in the span of only 3 months. So for example, in the early 1990s, it took an average of 2.5 years for a number of West Coast markets to shred 10% of their home values. Even during the Great Recession, it took 2 years on average for prices to drop 10%. Riverside, California dropped the fastest, and it still took 13 months. Black Knight also notes that this fastest drop in home prices on record prior to this recent downturn also belonged to San Jose, California, which saw prices drop 10% in 8 months back in 2001. Because Black Knight identified San Jose, California as the market where they're seeing the biggest pullback in home prices in recent months, again down 10% in recent months. Let's have a look at the latest trends we're seeing right now to give an indication about what's really going on with our housing market right now. This, of course, is according to Redfin's data here. So new listings are down greatly. Look at that compared to 2021 right here. New listings are down 31% year over year and have been declining greatly ever since the 4 weeks ending May 22nd. So new listings are down 31%. Let's look at active listings or housing supply. So housing supply has basically started to decrease slightly, but still up 3.74% from 1 year ago. But look at January 1st though. Look at that. January 1st, the number of houses for sale were down 51% compared to the same time period in 2021. And what a difference that has changed over the past several months here, because we basically had more houses for sale in San Jose, California ever since the 4 weeks ending June 12th of this year. So new listings are down greatly in San Jose, California, and active listings are up slightly compared to 2021. Let's look at pending home sales, which is when a home seller accepts an offer with a home buyer. Look at that. Pendings are down, look at that, down 30.63%, which is absolutely insane. But going back here, for the 4 weeks ending July 10th, pendings were actually down 44%. So over the past basically a month, pendings have been increasing, but still down greatly compared to 2021, down about 31%. Let's have a look at price drops in San Jose, California though. So price drops right now on a weekly basis at 8.2%. Compared to the same time period in 2021, it was basically about 3.5%, 3.3%. So the share of price drops right now are far higher compared to 2021. And actually look at altosresearch.com as well for San Jose. Price drops right now for the 7-day average ending August 26th is at 43% right now. But look at this trajectory here. I mean, this is pretty eye-opening here, because looking at year-over-year numbers really doesn't give us a clear story, as Black Knight alluded there. So for the 4 weeks ending August 26th, the share of price drops right now is 43%. But look back on April 1st, the share was only 4%. So the share of price drops basically 10x'd ever since April 1st of this year. Also, what's pretty astonishing here is that the share price drops from basically January 1st of this year was very, very low. So January 7th, the share price drops was under 5%. And they basically was around that range or less than 5% through April 15th. Ever since April hit, though, the middle of April, which, by the way, that's when average mortgage rates surpassed 5% for the first time in many years, price drops absolutely skyrocketed ever since then. And now we're at levels we haven't seen in at least the last 3 years. So that's price reductions in San Jose, California. Let's talk about home sold prices, though, because, of course, as Black Knight says, the prices have decreased in July, but I actually have some more recent data for you guys to share for the 4 weeks ending August 21st. So in that time period, home prices only increased 2% from the same week in 2021, which is pretty crazy because back right here, home prices were up 18%, 19% for the 4 weeks ending on May 15th of this year. At that time, the median sold price was $1.6 million. Now it's down to $1.387 million. So obviously, San Jose, California has seen some huge changes over the past several months due to a pullback in home buying demand and some pretty big headwinds that home buyers and home sellers really right now are facing right now. But the main reason why we're seeing this pullback in home buying demand is really due to this lack of housing affordability, as I've been talking on the channel quite a bit here. And Black Knight touches on this right here. It says, through this pandemic, record low interest rates enabled the average home price to rise at a record pace, go figure, resulting in the average home being valued at more than 6 times the median household income. That's the largest multiple on record, dating back more than 50 years. While this has built unprecedented homeowner wealth in the form of home equity here, it also has created immense and sustained housing affordability challenges, especially for first-time homebuyers. And they are spot on regarding that because it's been such an unfair housing market for homebuyers for at least the past couple of years, and especially for first-time homebuyers. But comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. If you guys got any value of today's video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.